Oh, it's just you. Sorry. I'm pretty skittish, even in urban environments. I'm the Eastern Cottontail. Because I'm the most common rabbit along the East Coast, most people just call me a rabbit. Come on, let me show you why I'm so important in the ecosystem. I guess if we're going to be chatting for a little bit, you should probably know a couple basic facts about us Eastern Cottontails. First of all, we're herbivores. We eat really any sort of fibrous plants that are out there. Most of our activities during dusk or dawn, kind of like a house cat, and are major prey species in any ecosystem that we occupy. Female cottontails have a 2 or 3 acre range, and males venture out a little bit further, usually about 8 acres. And territorially, we do prefer forest edges, but really, even just small shrubs or areas of brush can make us feel really comfortable. A lot of the same brushes and shrubs that people tend to have in their urban landscape. Our nests where we have our young are a bit more complex than the forms that we stay in during the day, but not by much. All we need are some extra grasses and some spare fur, and that's only if we can't find a bush, which often is all the hard work for us. Usually, the ones that are perfect for us are found in your gardens or on the side of your house. We thrive in urban spaces because of how large our litters are and how frequently we have them. 3 or 4 litters of 3 to 6 young, sometimes up to 9 every single year. This means we can bounce back from population struggles incredibly fast and make a name for ourselves in new urban spaces very quickly. We really aren't picky eaters either. You saw me enjoying some green beans earlier that my neighbor was growing out in their garden for me. But yesterday I had some bark off of one of the trees as the weather's getting colder with a side of crabgrass and then a couple of dandelions in the evening for dessert. To put it into perspective, a hungry rabbit can eat as much food as a sheep in a single day. I understand if you want your space all to yourself, though. I heard one of you describe cities as a place where people don't agree, but they manage. And if everyone gave us the same attitude, I think we do all right. Here's a few ways you can let us know that we should find a different place to stay without hurting us or the rest of the ecosystem. Fences, for one, might be the most effective method. An easier method is to use natural repellents, like capsaicin, to deter our munching. The most natural deterrent out there is going to be having a balanced ecosystem where predators keep us rabbits in check and away from your larger open clearings. While there isn't a lot you can do to help with this, a small step would be to learn what natural predators of mine are found in your area and making sure that you're not accidentally inviting more cottontails by dissuading those natural predators that are going to scare us off. While it might be the most difficult prevention measure to employ, I do want to go into a bit more detail about how natural predators impact our foraging. In a 2021 paper written by researchers in Detroit, Michigan, the spread of eastern cottontails was studied with respect to the movement of various predators throughout the area, plotting activity and vigilance levels of the rabbits all across the city. The table on the right side shows that there's a correlation between the quantities of predators and that of rabbits that isn't one to one. As predators in some areas goes up, the number of rabbits goes down. In the maps we see below that, we see a strong correlation between the coyotes and domestic dogs in some of the parks, which correlates with the map on the left side showing the black dots, and where the cottontail rabbits are without any predators in those localized parks, shown with the larger orange dots in the map on the left. Even if I'm not in your backyard, there are still so many benefits to me being anywhere in your neighborhood. For one, I eat all sorts of weeds and often dig up their roots to get the most nutritious part of them. All that digging and grazing has a big effect on the soil, too, so other species can live there and thrive. After sustained periods, it's even been shown that endangered birds and other biodiverse species have come back to places that they used to call home to feast on all the new diversity. And because we're so easily adaptable and thrive in early, still developing ecosystems, seeing one of us around is a good sign that things are headed in the right direction. A part of that development is, unfortunately, that Other species need to have a stable source of food before deciding to move in for themselves. And because of our reproductivity, we become a stable part of the natural world really quickly. Uh, I don't like thinking about the rest. Urbanization isn't just for you either. I'd love to share what great things I get out of it too. I already told you about all the great habitats and better protection from the scary predators that we just talked about, but that's not even the half of it. This study, conducted in 2021 by researchers from University of Rhode Island, among other institutions, is a little bit more complex than the last one we looked at, but I heard you already read something similar in the classes that you're taking, so it should help my explanation of all these maps. In short, dense urbanized areas actually help my species to have more genetic diversity and gene spread than we would otherwise have in rural areas. The Eastern Cottontail was measured alongside the New England Cottontail throughout this study, and again, us Eastern Cottontails showed more diversity and were less negatively impacted by urbanization's effect on migratory surfaces compared to my New England cousins. To point out just two important comparisons, first, take a look at the second map in graphic B. The blue here shows genetically diverse eastern cottontails within the Cape Cod Peninsula, and the yellow shows where less gene spread occurs. These areas are right in line with where migration rates are highest and lowest, indicated in the second map of graphic F. Notice the density of the colors between the eastern cottontails and New England cottontails in graph F as well. When we compare the second map with the first map of both graphic B and F, this is comparing the New England cottontail with the eastern cottontail, both between their observed heterozygosity and the migration rates, we can see how much more affected the New England cottontail is from urbanization than we eastern cottontails are. Urbanization surely has some of its drawbacks, but for me, maintaining species diversity to promote evolutionary and biological health is incredibly important. As a rabbit, I think that facts and figures are only so helpful about getting a point across. I'm far more in touch with my limbic fight or flight and quick decision making than whatever this frontal cortex thing is, so that's why I want to try sharing with you what I think are the best reasons to smile when you see me frolic through your back garden instead of getting up to try and shoo me away. For one, this picture is a screenshot from a YouTube video by Kang Star, who found a family of nesting cottontails in the garden behind his home. Setting up a camera to keep them safe and checking on them after bad weather, you can tell a lot of heart was put into his project. Just 12 days later, the newborn rabbits are big enough to hop out of the nest. You can only imagine the sensation of helping a mother rabbit raise her young until you're lucky enough to have it happen in an outdoor space near you. Taxonomically, the domestic rabbit and the eastern cottontail are actually very distinct. The last similar relative is around the same time the hares split apart from the taxonomic tree of life, but visually we are very similar. We both love to eat hay and other grasses, enjoy digging, domestic rabbits for fun, us for survival, but I will admit we don't have quite as many coat colors as the domestic rabbits do. Now that you know what I do for the environment and how you can help me and my species, I'd like to try impacting you personally with a piece of advice. As a prey species to coyotes, dogs, raccoons, hawks, and even the terrifying dogs you keep inside your homes, we're all too familiar with fear. We hop so we can escape predators at a moment's notice. You don't need a running start if you're not running in the first place. What I find different, though, in how I respond to my threats and you to yours, is that even after the danger is past, it's a lot harder for you to calm down. Even stranger, your fears aren't coyotes or hawks. They're not even cheetahs or tigers. I know it's hard, especially to hear from a creature as skittish as me, but if you find yourself stuck in that fight or flight and you look around and see that everything is safe, try taking a deep breath. Then remember, even if the danger isn't gone for good, it isn't here right now. Fear is natural, but it's how you respond that'll determine whether you can live your life to the fullest. Thanks, and I hope you smile the next time you see an Eastern Cottontail hopping by the yard outside your house.